What happens when one prophet stands alone against 450 false prophets and God answers with fire from heaven? This is the story of Elijah on Mount Carmel, a showdown for the heart of a nation. Imagine the land of Israel 3.5 years into a severe drought. The earth is cracked and barren. The streams have dried up, and the people are desperate. On the slopes of Mount Carmel, a vast crowd has gathered. The air is thick with tension and uncertainty. King Ahab is there, his face a mask of royal arrogance. And at the center of it all, two altars stand in stark contrast. One is dedicated to Baal, the pagan god of rain and fertility. The other, a broken-down pile of stones, is the altar of the Lord, the God of Israel, long forgotten by many. The challenge was issued by one man, Elijah the Tishbite, a rugged, solitary figure, his eyes burning with conviction. He stands before the nation and declares, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him." The people are silent, caught between their traditions and the state-sponsored worship of Baal, championed by Queen Jezebel. So, Elijah proposes a test. "Get 2 bulls for us," he says. "Let them choose one for themselves, and cut it into pieces, and put it on the wood, but put no fire to it. I will prepare the other bull, and put it on the wood, but put no fire to it. Then you call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of the Lord. The God who answers by fire, he is God." The people agree. This is a contest they can understand. Power, miracles, fire. The morning sun beats down as the prophets of Baal, 450 of them, begin their ritual. They take their bull, prepare it, and place it on their altar. From morning until noon, they cry out, "O Baal, answer us." They dance and leap around the altar, their voices rising in a frantic chorus. But there is no response. No one answers. The sky remains a cloudless, searing blue. As the day wears on, Elijah begins to mock them. "Shout louder," he taunts. Surely he is a god. Perhaps he is deep in thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe he is sleeping and must be awakened. His words are like salt in the wound, and their desperation grows. Goaded into a frenzy, they begin to shout even louder, their bodies writhing in ecstatic chaos. They take out knives and lances, cutting themselves until blood flows freely, a grotesque offering to a silent God. Their cries fill the air, a desperate, pathetic symphony of unanswered pleas. The sun begins to sink toward the horizon, and still there is nothing, no sign, no answer, no fire. Only the eerie silence of an empty heaven. Finally, as the time for the evening sacrifice approaches, their energy is spent. they collapse, exhausted and defeated. The crowd, who had watched with a mix of awe and morbid curiosity, now turns their attention to the lone prophet of the Lord. Elijah steps forward. His movements are calm, deliberate, and filled with a quiet authority that commands respect. He says to the people, "Come here to me." They draw near, and he begins to repair the altar of the Lord, which had been torn down. He takes 12 stones, one for each of the tribes of Israel, rebuilding it not just as a place for sacrifice, but as a symbol of a reunited, restored nation under God. He carefully arranges the wood on the altar, cuts the bull into pieces, and lays it on the wood. But then he does something that seems utterly insane. He turns to the people and says, "Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and on the wood." In the midst of a crippling drought, where every drop of water is precious, this command is shocking, but they obey. They bring the water, and he has them pour it over the sacrifice. "Do it again," he commands. They do. "Do it a 3rd time." They pour again until the water runs down around the altar, filling the trench he has dug around it. Everything is completely soaked. The meat, the wood, the stones, the very dust beneath the altar. Humanly speaking, it is now impossible to light this fire. Elijah is deliberately stacking the odds against himself, making it clear that if anything happens now, it can only be the work of God. As the sun hangs low in the sky, casting long shadows across the mountain, a hush falls over the crowd. The frantic energy of Baal's prophets is replaced by a tense, expectant silence. All eyes are on Elijah. He steps forward, raises his hands toward heaven, and begins to pray. His prayer is not a frantic shout or a desperate plea. It is simple, direct, and filled with unwavering faith. "Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God, and that you are turning their hearts back again." It is a prayer for God's glory, not his own. A prayer for the hearts of the people. In that moment, the entire history of Israel, the entire fate of the nation, hangs in the balance. And then it happens. With a sound like a rushing wind, a brilliant, terrifying column of fire descends from the sky. It is not a natural fire. It is blindingly bright, intensely hot, and moves with supernatural purpose. It strikes the altar with immense force. It even licks up the water in the trench, turning it to steam in an instant. The wet sacrifice, the waterlogged wood, the very rocks of the altar are vaporized in a flash of divine power. For a moment, there is stunned silence. The crowd is frozen, their faces illuminated by the afterglow of the heavenly fire. They have just witnessed the impossible. They have seen the raw, untamed power of the God of their fathers. Then, as one, the people fall to the ground, prostrate with their faces in the dust. A single, thunderous cry rises from thousands of throats, echoing across the mountainside. The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God. In that moment, there is no more doubt. The contest is over. Baal is silent. The Lord has answered by fire. The hearts of the people, for this one glorious moment, are turned back to the one true God. Elijah stands alone, vindicated not by his own strength, but by the overwhelming, undeniable power of the God he serves. This day on Mount Carmel would be remembered forever as the day fire fell from heaven, and a nation remembered its God. Thank you for watching. If this story inspires you, please like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories of faith and courage. We'll see you in the next video.